Yo, welcome to Hot Takes with Chedda Chaz, where there's no hand holding. We do with fast, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you haven't already. Shout out to Miller Lite, DraftKings, and Topo Chico. You guys should support them because they support us. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Salute to the troops. Salute to the originators of Memorial Day. And hope everybody, enjoying their weekend. Hopefully you had a long weekend. You don't work in like the warehouse industry or nothing like that. Weekends, man. Like some years you have them, some years you don't. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully your job give you a day off, an additional day off. I did all my partying over the weekend, so I ain't really tripping. I'm just cooling out today. So I was online. I saw some discussions about Philadelphia showing some interest in Brandon Ingram potentially if they were to miss out on Paul George. I don't know how new that report is. It seems like a lot of people are just kind of echoing what Windhurst initially said. But shit, maybe Windhurst got it from them behind closed doors. Pause. That sounded crazy. But maybe Windhurst got the information from them and he was the first to report it. And, maybe they're the originators. But, so pretty much if you look at Philly's roster, it's one of those teams that have, they have 2 max slots. Therese Maxey getting a max contract goes without saying. Incredible player this year. Should have been an NBA. Another travesty. Along with Jaylen Brown, but that's the game sometimes, politics. And, they're going to be in hot pursuit of Paul George, seeing as how the Clippers don't want to give him a max contract. So here's the thing. Again, Philly doesn't have a ton of attractive trade assets. In fact, I would say they don't have any. They don't really have any. Paul Reed is probably their best realistic, trade asset this offseason. So all they really have is Paul Reed and draft picks. That's all they really got. But you got to see the big picture sometimes. Now, if I'm the Pelicans and I don't really see an attractive 1-for-1 deal with Brandon Ingram, or even an attractive role player deal for Brandon Ingram, if I wanted to think big picture, I could see Philadelphia being able to present something that's kind of attractive. Take a look at this, for example. I kind of just put this together. All right. Let's say you trade Brandon Ingram and Larry Nance and a 27 swap because of the stipulated rule, 27 swap to Philly. And in exchange, you get Paul Reed, 4 firsts, and near $40 million trade exception. Now, when you take a closer look at those 4 firsts, you got 2 first-round picks in 28. So you're really gambling on the Clippers and Philadelphia being total shit in 2028, which is a real possibility because who really knows if Joel's even playing anymore in 28? Kawhi's probably done by 28. Clippers, never really been a major free agent destination, even though it's LA, it's not the Lakers. So they've never been a real big free agent destination. So there's a real possibility that both of those franchises are in a transitional period during 2028. So here's the plus of something like that. You clear $40 million. It's a given why. It's obvious why Philadelphia does it, right? But for the Pelicans, you clear $40 million in salary cap space. Right, so you got a $40 million trade exception. You can absorb distressed assets. You can absorb several role players, and you got 4 first-round lottery picks. Well, potential lottery picks. You got 4 first-round picks. Now, the downside of that for the Pelicans is when I really canvass the league and I look at teams that are close to the second apron, those tax teams. There really aren't a ton of game changers available to absorb via that trade exception. There aren't any high level distressed assets. Even a person let's say Zach LaVine, even a person like Zach LaVine, his salary is too big to absorb via that trade exception. Trae Young, you couldn't absorb him. Now I'm so tired of talking about Atlanta, but if you want to play the long game, let's say you're the Pelicans, right? And you call Atlanta, you're like, look, I'll give you a first for DeJounte Murray and Filler to fit them into this trade exception. And Atlanta needing cap space desperately, and Atlanta being a pretty good market, for people, wanting to go there, free agents or what have you. The Hawks may accept that. They may say, all right, we'll take the cap space. You know what I'm saying? We'll take the cap space in exchange for DeJounte and whoever. And now we have avenues to better our roster. So if you're the Pelicans, you say, all right, now I got DeJounte, I got Paul Reed, and I got whatever fills out the rest of that trade exception. And I got all these picks. This is a competent team. I got enough space to go sign me a backup big or two. I still got a couple of exceptions I could utilize to go fill out. Let's say you need another big or you need another guy on the perimeter. You still got avenues to fill out the rest of the roster. And again, you pretty much restocked your war chest, and you got one of the best contracts in the league in DeJounte Murray and whoever you acquired with him via that trade. And you still got CJ's contract to trade. So it makes a lot of sense if you're the Pelicans, because let's say no one's available this year, but next year someone is available. Let's say hypothetically Devin Booker becomes available, right? Now you have DeJounte Murray, you got other salary to fill out the rest of that trade package, and now you got even more picks to go send Phoenix, you know what I'm saying, in exchange for Devin Booker. So if they want to play the long game, they could really use that trade exception to take on, like, hypothetically speaking, let's say Zach LaVine did fit inside that trade exception. They could say, yo, Bulls, like, I need like 3 picks, and I'll take on Zach LaVine's contract. Now you just turned Brandon Ingram into 7 first-round picks. Just turn them into 7 first-round picks. That would be fucking incredible if they were able to do something like that. The only realistic options I could see looking at some of this is like, I don't know, maybe Wiggins. I'm not really even sure what Wiggins' salary is right now. A guy like Anthony Simons. Maybe you take on like Anthony Simons and Robert Williams to give Portland some cap space, but I'm not even sure why Portland would need cap space right now. Maybe a Jeremy Grant. Like, I'm just not sure what teams and this isn't really a hot free agent market. So I'm not really sure what teams are looking to really utilize said cap space. One dark horse, and I ain't gonna lie, I would really think about this. I would really have to think about this. Jordan Poole with the Wizards, because I think if you hit up the Wizards like, yo, I'll take Jordan Poole off your hands for about 3-4 picks, or let's say 3, for like 3 picks. What's up? What y'all trying to do? DC, cool place. You know what I'm saying? And most players, like, if you're a fringe max player, all you really need is a team that's willing to offer you max money. So let's say Brandon, for example, right? Brandon's a fringe max player. Well, he's not even a max player, but let's say a fringe max player. Let's say negotiations fell through with Philly and Brandon wanted to test the market. And the Wizards, they traded Jordan Poole to the Pelicans to create this cap space or what have you, right? I guess in theory, they could, go after a guy like Brandon Ingram, or even absorb Brandon Ingram via trade if, Philly wanted to flip him. There's different mechanisms that teams could use, with a major trade exception like that. But if you're the Pelicans and you are able to create a huge trade exception via a trade with Philly, man, there are ways you could turn that into even more picks that you could pair with a guy like CJ, for example, CJ and another player or two, and go get you that real star player you're looking for, that real, like, even if it wasn't a distressed asset, and a lot of teams turn it down with 4 and 5 picks. Like, it would be hard for a team that isn't a contender to turn down 4-5 picks for a budding star or a star player that's just not able to really carry them all the way home. So it's something to think about, you know what I'm saying? It's not something, you turn your nose up at totally. You got to really be playing the long game. You got to be a hustler to really know how to, like, maneuver this. I don't trust the Pelicans front office to really be that slick. They slick, but I don't know if they're that slick. I don't know if Griff on that level of, like, forward thinking. That's some Machiavellian shit. Like, you got to, you really got to, that's some Danny Ainge shit. What's my man Sam Presti? That's some Sam Presti shit. Like, if you could, there's a real avenue for turning Brandon Ingram into 6-7 first round picks. If you know, it would take some teams wanting to get off of some salary, but like you would need help. But there is definitely an avenue for doing that. What y'all think about the deal with Philly, man? Do y'all think it's something that's, you know, manageable? Do you trust the front office to utilize those assets? Do you think you know, there's teams willing to pay that price to get off of a fucked up salary or fucked up contract like a Jordan Poole? Because to me, that's the number one guy I would be looking at. Like, hey, you know, best case scenario, hey, you trade, they give you 2-3 picks to take on Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, he's comfortable with being a 6-man. He has a resurgence, and now he's like a 6-man of the year candidate again. And you just got a bunch of picks for this motherfucker. And his contract only like another 2-3 years. So then you can move him down the line. Now he's a large expiring. He basically would take on CJ's role, and he'd become a large expiring salary a year or two from now. But you got to be a hustler. You got to be a hustler. You got to think big. You got to think big. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if the Pelicans, you know, I don't know if that's that hustler just in them. I don't know. You got to be a dog. But that's been today's show. Oh, man, before I leave, I closed on that property that I was telling y'all about. I closed on the condo. When did I do that? Was it Friday? Yeah, I closed Friday. Here go a little celebration video. We was on the rooftop in Fells Point, spraying champagne. Check it out.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations!
All right, you got me a little bit. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so appreciate everybody who's showing love, man. Have a great weekend. I hope everything goes y'all way. Y'all see, I'm tired. I'm burnt out with these Pelicans, man. I'm tired of talking about the Hawks. I'm tired of talking about Trae Young. I'm tired of talking about Darius Garland. I'm just tired. Just do something good. Go do something good. Think big. Think long term. You know what I'm saying? Just figure it the fuck out. But that's my show. I'm out today, man. Peace.